Hi there, my name's Colin Morton. I've been building a garage in my spare time for the past few months, and I'm at the point where I'm starting to insulate and make it a little bit more comfortable for working in, especially in a Scottish winter. I've got a couple of classic minis to restore in the near future, and I want to be comfortable when I'm in here working away. I'm going to walk you around the build and a little bit more information of why I chose superfoil multifoil insulation. So it's quite a large garage that I've built. It's about 11 metres by 6 metres at the front, and it tapers down, and it's about 4.5, 5 metres at the back. Now, what I want to achieve with this garage is just a comfortable place to work in. As you can see, I've already made a start with the superfoil on one side, and I thought I'd talk you through the process of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I made this garage from scratch, building the frame myself. It's a 6x2 frame, C24 timber with 18mm OSB fascia. The fascia is then got a breather membrane, non-permeable breather membrane, which then will be cladded in a cement-based cladding. On the roof, I've got an EPDM roof. I'm putting 3 large skylights in, but I'm going to wait until the better weather before I do that. And yes, I have installed a bath to wash the dog in. So the insulation I'm using is a superfoil SF19 Plus. Combination of the thermal property that will help keep the place nice and snug, but also in the summer it will reflect the heat and keep it a little bit cooler. If you add that with the vapor control layer system that it's got, it's just an all-round really good form of insulation. Now, you can use superfoil to meet building regulations for houses and extensions and stuff, and there is a technical team that can help you support that. I'm not doing that for this because it's just a garage build, so I'm not going to full building regulations with the system. So one of the things I like about the product is just how compact it is. You don't need a lot of space, and I can get a lot of materials for the jobs and stuff that I'm doing and the projects that I'm working on in the house in my normal car. I don't need a van to transport the materials. It's quick, it's easy, and when I've only got a limited amount of time, that's ideal for me. I can achieve what I want to achieve very, very quickly, and less mess means there's less time cleaning up. Here are some of the tools that I'll be using, and some of the bits and pieces. As you can see, it's very, very, very basic. We've got a 12mm staple. I'm using the 12mm for the SF19. If you're using a thicker foil, you use a thicker staple. I've used some of the most extreme thicknesses of foils, and only had to go up to a 14mm staple to achieve good results. Then we've got level line, basic tape measure, sharp pair of scissors, and some marker pens just to mark the lines that we're going to need. So, as I said, the tape there that you can see is a 75mm tape, and that's there just to tape the joints that you can see between the product. Now that helps with the air permeable side of things, but also it adds to the vapor control layer. With any insulation, if you stop the air movement, you'll improve the thermal property of the product. So I'm not a builder, I'm an advanced DIYer at best. I've built some big projects and stuff, but this job really is a DIY job if you want to take it on. If you've got a summer house or a green or a shed or a garden room that you want to add that extra layer of insulation to make it more comfortable, then this is something you could achieve fairly quickly over a weekend or so. And there's very, very little tools or experience needed to achieve really good results. So what I've done in the wall behind me is used the 2 sizes to achieve the height that I need. The superfoil, I've got it in a 1.5 metre and a 1.2 metre. The mass structure is 2.5 metres on one side, 2.4 metres on the other side, which means I can come up to the 1.5 and then I can overlap, bring it up to the ceiling, leave a lap at the top for the roof insulation to come across and be taped. Now this is a really easy process to do, and I'll try and set up the camera to capture how I'm doing it and what I'm doing. So I've set the camera up just so we can capture some of the processes that I'm going to do. So first off, I'm going to use the 1.5 metre product and bring us up to the first level. Now what I like to do is take a marker pen, any colour, we'll measure up from the bottom of the structure up to 1.5. And then we'll mark a level line across the wall. So I've got my 1.5 metre roll. I'm going to undo it, undo the packaging. Again, very minimal amount of packaging and waste with this product, which is really good, which means there's less cuts and materials and stuff going into skips and into landfill. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be starting in the corner, stapling it in, getting a line, and then pulling it across the wall. So I've got the product started in the corner, just a few staples to hold it in place. I'm going to bring the product across the wall to start the first layer of insulation. So I thought I'd try and set the camera up, try and capture how quick and simple it is to do this. Grab my staple gun, find my marker line, staple on the product, keep it tight as much as you can on the way across. So then that's how quick it is. You see now there's 6 metres or so that I've just laid out. Once I've done this, I then find the joist using my fingers and just staple 5 or 6 staples as you go down, back it into place. Very simple. So there you can see that the first layer, the bottom layer, has been put on, and it took me maybe a couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so, just to staple it in, find the joist, keep it neat and tidy, and cut it to the edge. Now, next stage is top layer. So what I'm going to do, fairly similar process. I will mark the top joists, just a little bit in, just to create a lip that I can bring the roof insulation over to. So we can get a nice tape and a nice sealed joint, and then we'll drop it down, staple it to the joist, and tape the long stretch. So what I've done here is just used part of the 1.2 metre product, the SF19 plus. Used the remainder of the roll that we had from the other side. Just makes life a little bit easier, tucking it into the corner. So you're just bringing it over the joist, creating a little lip, and then thankfully we've been able to finish on a joist, which means we've got a nice tight staple joint. But it just shows that you can use all the product. I said very little waste comes from it, which I really like. It's a big factor for me when I'm choosing my insulation. So I have finished this side of the wall. I've added the 1.5 at the bottom, 1.2 at the top, created the overlaps. I'm going to tape the joints up with a 75mm tape, and then I'm going to move on to the ceiling. Yeah, it's going to be fun.